Since 2015, India's biggest medical entrance exam has been leaked, questioned, and cancelled, again and again. Students have lost years. Families have lost their savings. And in 2026 alone, at least a dozen young aspirants lost their lives. This is the full, documented story of how it happened, every single time. It starts in 2015, before NEET even existed in its current form, back when the exam was called AIPMT. That May, Haryana police uncovered a shocking scheme, a solver gang using Bluetooth-enabled vests to transmit answers to candidates during the exam. Answer keys were also circulating over WhatsApp across 10 states. The Supreme Court called it what it was, a national shame, and did something it would rarely do again. It canceled the entire exam and ordered a full reconduct within 4 weeks. Just a year later, NEET's second phase faced fresh interstate leak allegations. It didn't reach the scale of 2015, but it planted an uncomfortable pattern, one that would repeat itself again and again and again. By 2021, the method had evolved. At an exam center in Jaipur, Rajasthan, investigators found that question papers were being photographed and answers relayed to candidates through WhatsApp. Arrests were made, but this time, the Supreme Court declined to order a re-examination, saying the incident wasn't proof of a nationwide, systemic breach. Then came 2024, the controversy that shook the entire country. NEET 2024 was held on May 5th, with over 23 lakh students appearing at more than 4,700 centers. Weeks later, red flags started appearing everywhere. For context, from NEET's launch in 2016 all the way to 2024, only 7 students had ever scored a perfect 720 out of 720. That year alone, 67 students got a perfect score. Investigations revealed the paper had leaked in Hazaribagh and Patna, Bihar. Bihar police later reported that the question paper was leaked a full 24 hours before the exam, sold to candidates for 30 to 32 lakh rupees each, who were then made to memorize the answers. 13 people were arrested. And yet, despite massive nationwide protests demanding a full retest, the Supreme Court ultimately refused to cancel the entire exam. Its reasoning: the leak was confirmed to have benefited around 155 candidates, not enough evidence to prove it compromised results for all 23 lakh students. The court did order the cancellation of grace marks that had inflated scores and a limited retest for over 1,500 affected candidates. The repeated scandals finally forced Parliament's hand. In 2024, India passed the Public Examinations Prevention of Unfair Means Act, a law introducing prison terms of up to 10 years and fines of up to 1 crore rupees for anyone organizing paper leak rackets. On paper, it was meant to be a turning point. Then, in May 2026, barely 2 years after that new law, it happened again. NEET 2026 was conducted on May 3rd for over 20 lakh candidates. Within days, more than 100 questions were found circulating on Telegram, matching pre-exam guest papers. On May 12th, the NTA canceled the exam entirely and referred the matter to the CBI. A fresh retest was held on June 21st across thousands of centers, with results declared July 16th. But in the 46 days between the cancellation and the retest, tragedy unfolded across the country. According to reporting by Hindustan Times, at least 11 NEET aspirants died by suicide during that window, a number Outlook later reported had risen to 13. Among them was a 16-year-old girl in Jharkhand who, according to her family, remained under severe stress despite counseling, and a student in Lucknow who had performed well in the original exam but grew increasingly anxious after it was cancelled. These weren't isolated incidents. They came from families who'd spent years and their life savings preparing for a single exam, only to watch that chance thrown into uncertainty overnight. The deaths turned into a political flashpoint. Opposition parties and student groups held protests demanding accountability and a structural overhaul of the NTA. Under mounting pressure, the Prime Minister announced fast-track courts specifically for paper leak cases on July 23rd. Whether that translates into real accountability is something India is still watching closely. Zoom out, and this isn't even just a NEET problem. Reports show India has seen over 90 exam leaks and irregularities across central and state-level exams in the past 2 decades, from AIPMT in 2004 to CAT to UPTET to UGC-NET. NEET is simply the most visible face of a much deeper crack in India's examination system. This is a story that keeps repeating, and real students keep paying the price. Subscribe for more deep dive investigations, and let me know your thoughts in the comments.